Hey everybody, how's it going? I got the female Tagu Kong painted, and yeah, I think it turned out pretty good. It took me a while. The reason why it took so long was because honestly, I was busy. I was very busy for a while, and you know, despite me not even having to do a whole lot of painting, I kind of just took my time with it to make sure it got right. Not to mention the jaw was giving me some problems, and various other things, It's just life, life's complicated, and that's why when people apologize on their channels, I don't really get it. Be like, "Oh, sorry, I've been away for a while, guys." I don't know. We all got our own lives to live, and we don't always got time to give, so it's kind of it's whatever. Who cares? As long as you get it done at some point or another. But yeah, here it is. Got like I said, I kept the eyes the way they were originally because I thought the gray eyes would fit really well, and honestly, they do. Actually, I really like how they turned out. Um, I painted the skin in like a really dark kind of brownish color. I guess you could say it's a lot darker of a color. It's very similar to the brown that I used for the fur, but and some parts of the fur are not brown, which I'll explain in a minute. Uh, And then I glossed up the eyes here to make it look a little more wet and lively. Especially I think from a distance it looks really good. Like that, that looks almost real. The eyes, anyway, not the face. You know. Um, and then of course it got articulation for the jaw. The jaw got still full articulation. This is pretty much its neutral pose. I'm trying to see if, yeah, I can push it in a little further. That's kind of just like a neutral kind of looking pose. I just realized the way I sculpted the face kind of reminds me of the NECA King Kong, the ultimate, like NECA Ultimate Kong or whatever they call it. They had three of those guys, or four of those goddamn things, and two of them that were the exact same, and then one was similar to the other, but it was repainted in a movie poster version. I'll show you guys what I mean in a second. Yeah, see, they kind of got like a similar facial look. You got the NECA Kong here. He got the same, almost the same color. It's kind of funky. Hold on a second. The camera would focus. I need to get rid of the monster I've been working on in the background. There's the problem. Need to get him the hell out of the way. There we go. That should be easier now. Hold on. There we go. As you can see, yeah, it kind of almost got the same color of eye, albeit a tad different. One thing though, I definitely like the fangs on the female Tagu Kong over the NECA King Kong, just because these things are like thin. They're a little too thin for my taste. I like some big tusks on an ape, especially King Kong. The tusks are an important feature of a male ape, and in the Tagu Kong case, the females, because in this specific Kong species, the females, for the people who didn't see the Ready to Paint video, have very little sexual dimorphism. They're pretty much the same size as the males, with the same amount of muscle, and besides the whole obvious female differences, their tusks, their canine teeth are pretty much the same size as the males, presumably to help them defend themselves, their offspring, and others of their family from the Saurians that live on Skull Island. And while the NECA King Kong, or the original King Kong, as far as I'm aware, its species is Gorilla giganteus or something like that. Gorilla giganteus. And then this specific species of Kong don't really have a name as far as I'm aware. It's just Tegu. It's either Tegu or Atu, which this, depending on what clan or native tribe that they belong to, which this specific Kong is from the Tegu clan. Or was, anyway. But yeah, I figured I'd just show how How odd that is, the similarities in their faces. That was not intentional when I was sculpting it. Honestly, I was trying to give the female Kong kind of like a more neutral look. Like at least kind of, it could be shown growling, or maybe it's just kind of puzzled. Like, it's kind of just looking around. Because that's all I had was I only had one head to work with. And then if I want a roaring kind of look, I could just push out the mouth a little bit, as you can see, which the mouth has the same kind of gloss in it. Got some. God damn it, camera's focused on the neck of Kong. My bad. Yeah, the mouth has the same kind of gloss and some different paint mixtures in there. You got the teeth. The teeth were a little annoying to paint, but I got it done with more or less decent detail. You got the two little teeth down here, and there is a little weird piece of cult that was stuck to the mouth there, so I just made it. I painted it like it was a crooked tooth because I figure, I don't know, that'd give it a decent little amount of detail. And then, I painted these teeth up here. Hold on. There you go. You can see them. They've been painted. I redid the fangs, or the two front tusks here, to make them bigger, because originally they were smaller. Because originally I did not know that the female Tagu and Tagu Kongs have large fangs. I just assumed that they were like every other ape, where their fangs were smaller when they were females. Because the general rule of thumb for apes is that the males have the giant canines because they use them to fight each other in intraspecific combat. But in the Joe DeVito Skull Island, which is what these Kongs are from, it's different. They, they have, like I said, they have very little sexual dimorphism. And yeah, mine Max down there with the squeaker toy loves that damn thing. And it cracks me up all the time. But I guess I could get you guys a quick side by side of this female Kong and King Kong himself. And here you see King Kong himself, who's almost like the big star of a lot of my picture stories. He has like 8 separate picture stories, which is wild. I just love using them. But yeah, looking at these two, close the mouth there. Yeah, they're roughly the same in size. If not, maybe the female might be a little bigger, which is cool. Let me see. Then again, King Kong is a little bit hunchbacked at the moment. And his leg keeps popping off, which I'll explain in a minute. Straighten them up a little bit. Yeah, now they're roughly the same. They're pretty much the same size, which again fits pretty well. I like the fact that they're kind of the same size. Like I said, I changed up the hairstyle of the female a little bit, made the eyebrows a little bushier, kind of like give them little, obviously distinct differences, considering they're the same species, but they're two different individuals of different genders. That, and I made the female. I made the female scars a lot more noticeable. You got the I glossed them up and I made them a lot more prominent. Got a bite mark on her stomach, which is pretty interesting. I figure somebody could speculate on that. You got a claw mark that partially healed up. You got a claw mark there, a claw mark there. Got a few claw marks on her breasts, and got a claw mark on the side of the face and on the side of the mouth. And yeah, also the ears. I didn't really bother to paint the ears all that well, which I should have, but the colors, the skin color and the fur color are so similar with the female Kong that it's almost pointless. Which brings me into why I didn't paint certain parts. Hold on, mind just turning around there, King Kong, real quick. Thank you. There's a reason why I didn't paint these certain parts, because I thought it would be cool to have kind of like some patches of gray fur, like kind of the gray fur that the figurine came with, along with this brownish fur. I thought it'd look kind of cool, and honestly, I really do think it looks pretty cool. It's hardly noticeable, but just like little stuff, because the figurine looked great beforehand, but I figure, hey, why not? Give it a little bit of color variation. Makes it more recognizable as an individual. Because at least now, despite them being the same species, you could easily tell the female Kong and the King Kong himself apart from each other. And I like that, you know, I really do. Honestly, the female Kong making an appearance in the stories, sure, yeah. I have a story planned for the far future with these two, but that'll be long beforehand, and this guy will have many more adventures to be on before that point. You got a lot more beasts to fight. And you know, you could tell, I mean, he's a little worn down from the stories, but I'll keep using them until there's nothing left of them to use, because honestly, I love this figurine. I got it as a gift from my dad many years ago, and I'm fucking thankful for it, you know? I mean, I love this guy. And I have like two different copies of this exact same figure, but this one in particular is special to me. And I will not replace him because, like I said, he was a gift. And I do not replace gifts. The other King Kongs are just in case, like, I lose, like, a hand for him or something. I could replace his hands with the other hands, you know, like I could swap them out. And I plan on making more of the Joe DeVito Kongs as a species, you know, like, I want to make an individual that I saw in a comic one time. This individual Kong was attacked by Vikings that visited Skull Island, and he lost an arm and an eye from fighting them while defending this Viking woman that he bonded with. And yeah, it was one hell of a story from what I remember, you know. And even with the one arm and the one eye, he still fought very well, which is a testament to Kongs as a species. And yeah, I'd like to make that specific individual. And who knows, maybe another individual in the future. Like I said, I got two of these guys, and if I come across any more in person, I'll probably get more of them. You know, have a whole tribe of them at some point. That'd be fantastic. But yeah, that's you know, I got these hands here, which hold on, it's because these two, you know. Yeah, there you go. I painted up the nails a little bit to be kind of a grayish color. Painted the skin, left the gray fur there on the hands. Same thing with this here. Painted the. Hold on a second. Don't mind the Corythosaurus there. You guys will see a little bit more of him later on. There we go. Got a balled up fist hand there. Pick that off there. I sprayed these last night. There we go. Got the other fist, which the other fist was showing a little bit of the nail there, which I had to do that. You know, my perfectionist came out and I was like, come on, man, don't you leave it. So, I mean, I think I did it decently well. Might be a little bit of overspray, but that's or overdone in the paint, but that's okay. I don't care much. And yeah, that is the female Kong. Honestly, I like how it turned out. You know, I think it turned out pretty well. And you know how that goes. Also, you know what's funny? I found out is that it's the jaw, because it's not actually an articulation point. It's just a cut back here that allows the jaw to be bent back. Look how horrific this is. Like, friggin' looks like Mighty Peking Man when he's screeching at people up close. And on that funny note, I will end the video. You guys know the whole shtick. Only like and subscribe if you want to. Don't do it if you don't want to. Frankly, it don't hurt my feelings. Personally, I like comments more. If you guys wouldn't mind telling me your opinion, bad or good, I would appreciate that far more. And yeah, that's pretty much all I got to say. Take care, everybody.